So we are on Adhyay 9, as you know, and we have already studied 10 shlokas. Today we will do 2 more. Okay. So today is 11 and 12. Let me start with chanting number 11. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajananto mama bhuta maheshwara. Not knowing my true nature, fools deride me, the overlord of the entire creation, who have assumed the human form. That is to say, they take me, who have appeared in human form through my Yogmaya for deliverance of the world, as an ordinary mortal. It's a very beautiful shlok, and there are 2 levels at which you can interpret this shloka. See, till the last one, 10th shlok that we studied last time, Bhagwan has been giving small doses of Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, the secret supreme knowledge that can liberate us from the cycle of birth and death. So 10 shlokas have been devoted to that. Now we are getting this knowledge straight from Bhagwan's mouth. Many people are listening to this knowledge. Many people have listened to this knowledge for centuries. Yet everyone doesn't listen to it equally. Everyone doesn't follow the teachings equally. Some implement it, some find it difficult to implement it. And some people find it extremely difficult to live this knowledge. So in this shloka, today's 2 shlokas, Bhagwan is talking about those who find it very difficult to live this knowledge. And Bhagwan calls them mudha, fools. Now, it sounds like insult, but it means that people who don't follow this teaching or are unable to follow this teaching or who ignore this teaching, they are living their life in vain. Sorry. Why are they fools? Because Bhagwan says they are not able to recognize Bhagwan Krishna as Bhutameshwara. Bhut, Bhutam, Ishwaram. Bhutameshwaram, meaning the Ishwar, the overlord of all bhutas, of all creation. Just because Bhagwan Krishna has taken avatar in human form. So they are stuck on the human form of Bhagwan without realizing that this human form is just for Bhagwan's entry into the world. Most of the people have just, at his time, most of the people just took him to be the son of Devaki, a cowherd, a king of Dwarka, a charioteer, a sakha, or whatever other label they wanted to give Bhagwan. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan, in fact, all the Kauravas and even all the Pandavas, including Arjun, did not recognize Bhagwan Krishna as a divine avatar. Only in Adhyay 11, when Bhagwan gave his Vishwarup darshan to Arjun, that is when Arjun realized that this person who is driving my chariot, who's my charioteer, is Bhagwan incarnate. In fact, in that Adhyay 11, as it goes further, Arjun regrets very deeply not realizing that his friend is actually Bhagwan. And he says, I've joked around with you, I've called you names, I've jested with you, See, if you look at Adhyay 11, Shlok 41 and 42, Bhagwan says, I will read it over here. He says, my dear friend, I was ignorant of your majesty. He says, I neglected you often. I gave you, jokes. I disrespected you. I played with you while I was playing, resting, sitting, eating. When I was alone with you, when I was along with so many other people, I made fun of you. I joked with you, just like I would joke with a friend. So he says, now please forgive me, because he realized he behaved this way with Bhagwan. This is one interpretation of this shloka, which Bhagwan says, not knowing my true nature, fools deride me. And just because I have taken a human form. But there is a second level at which one can read this shloka, and that is the most beautiful one. Bhagwan says, Ava jananti mam, without knowing me, without knowing me. Who is this me? So the second way of seeing this, first level is, of course, without knowing me means Bhagwan Krishna. The second way of interpreting this is without knowing me, the true me, the true I of every individual, Atma. Okay, we can rephrase, I will just rephrase this entire shlok, okay? Not knowing our true nature, we humans, fools, deride the self or the Atma, the overlord of the entire creation, who has assumed this human form. That is to say, these fools take the self, the Atma, who has appeared in human form through Ishwar's Yog Maya for our liberation from the world. We have taken this human form for our liberation from the world, and we have assumed it to be a mere human being. So this is the second interpretation of taking Mam to be I, the Atma. So what do these mudhas, what do these fools think? Why are they fools? Because they are ignorant, because they are deluded, because they have foolishly, they don't know what their true nature really is. And they have just assumed whatever they can see, this human form, they have, which is necessary to enter the world, they have taken this human form as their true self, as their true nature. That is what makes them mudha, fools. And because they have got this wrong notion of a false identity, they go on satisfying the needs of the body, the never ending demands of the body and the mind also, and they continuously fulfill those needs of the body, and they go on making their desires stronger and stronger. Obviously, that is leading to their continued bondage to sansar. So this is what makes the Bhagwan call them mudha, fools. Avajananti. So how is it that they don't know? What is it that they do? So they are ignorant. You are ignorant of the Atma. So those of us who are ignorant of the Atma, we will neglect the Atma. We will ignore the Atma. We will disrespect the Atma by ignoring it and by continuously being busy with our daily activities of the world. Okay. Now, therefore, what are we identifying with? If we are not identifying with Atma, then we are identifying with Prakriti. Prakriti means Vasna. We are identifying with matter. And the ego is getting more and more and more deluded and continuously strengthening the notion that I am body, I am mind, I am intellect. That is what Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya says in his comments, that when you ignore the self, which is our true nature, and because of that, we go on satisfying the wants and the needs of the body, of the false self, these people are fools. Why? Because they are committing spiritual suicide. Now, when you are going on identifying with BMI, we all know BMI is limited. So when we say I am the body and we are aware of the limitations of this physical body, then in our mind, we think we are limited beings. We know very well the mind and the intellect can do many things, but the mind and the intellect also has its limitations. So when we identify with a limited mind and with a limited intellect, we also think of ourselves as intellectually limited. So limited BMI identification, we have now made ourselves limited, helpless, victims, slaves of our desires, and victims of our circumstances. But the true I, who we truly are, is limitless. It is independent of any vishay, independent of any limitation. It is ever free. It is omnipotent. It is universally intelligent. And this is the foolishness that we have done. We are actually limitless. We are actually free. We are actually highly intelligent. We are actually highly independent. We are omnipotent, but we have considered ourselves limited, victims, slaves of our vasanas. And that is what makes us mudha, foolish. In the next shloka, number 12, Bhagwan will give us a detailed description of why he is calling us mudha. Let's go to 12. Moghasha mogha karmano mogha jnana vichetasaha rakshasim asurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shritaha. Those bewildered persons with vain hopes, futile actions, and fruitless knowledge have adopted a fiendish, demoniacal, and delusive nature. All right, what is this foolishness and how is it happening? Let us go with the word moghasha. Moghasha means those who have vain hopes. Asha, mog asha. Asha is hopes. Our hopes are vain. Our hopes are useless. Our hopes are futile. They are fruitless. Our hopes will never give us the fruit of what we are hoping for. Why? So those people who have ignored the presence of Atma, who have ignored or neglected this Atma and have pursued identification with the material world, they will rely on the material world for their happiness. They will rely on Vishais for making them happy. And Bhagwan says, if you are relying on Vishais of the material world to make you happy, if that is your hope, that all these objects of the sansar, all these people of sansar are going to make you happy, then your hope is hopeless, futile, vain. Why? Because all Vishais are temporary. They will give you temporary happiness, and after the temporary happiness, you will get temporary unhappiness. Till the next time you fulfill one Vishaya desire, again you'll get temporary happiness, then again you'll get unhappiness. So your hopes of happiness permanently are futile. They are vain. The Upanishads, again and again, every Upanishad tells us the same truth. It says, it is impossible to find peace within without knowing the inner self. Hope of finding that inner peace from outer Vishayas is a futile hope. It's a vain hope. That is Mog Asha. That's the first point which makes us Mudha. Second is Moga Karmano, those bewildered persons with futile actions. First was hope, then there is action. Because there is hope of finding happiness from the outside world, we continuously do actions in the outside world, keep performing more and more actions in the pursuit of happiness in the outside world. Working or doing actions is compulsory. We are in karma bhumi. We have always said that. Even animals work for their food. Even birds work for their food. They go out. God has not come and put food inside the beaks of the birds. They have to fly, find food, and eat it. Animals also have to look for food. But the difference is that after the animals find their food and eat it, they don't go on searching for more and more food. Birds also, when sometimes we put grains for the birds outside on the terrace. After they've eaten, bus, finished. They won't go on eating. They'll eat their food, then they'll go on, sit on the trees, and they will sing. Even in safari parks, wild animals, lions and tigers, I believe that when you go into a safari, they will always take you after they have actually fed the lions and tigers so that they don't attack the humans. After eating, they rest. Only we humans, the crown jewels of creation, after having all the comforts and luxuries of life, what do? We keep working more and more so that we can have more richness, we can have more luxuries, we can be more rich, we can be more happy. We always want more, the crown jewels of creation. So we are continuously working more and more in spite of having enough to survive, enough to be happy, enough for 1 or 2 generations after us also to be happy. But no, we must keep working and keep getting richer and richer. Secondly, it's not enough that we keep working for becoming richer and richer, but we have those vain hopes, remember? So we will do puja, we will do vrat, we will do upvas, we will do homa, we will do havan, we will do anushtan. Please the gods. I must please the gods so they can make me more rich. They can make me more happy. We have not even, because we feel limited. We have identified with limited body, limited intelligence. We feel limited. So let's take the help from God also, that maybe with some bribery, with some oblations of bribery, we will get some more luxuries. Third, we will moga karmano, actions, futile actions. What we do? We do charity, dan. We do tapasya. We do vrat. What do we want? We want punya. We want to earn some punya. Why we want to earn punya? Because not only we want to be richer in this life, not only we want to be more happy here and more comfortable here and have more luxuries here, let me earn some punya. After my death also, I will go to Swarg. There also, I must enjoy luxuries. I must reserve one special spot there, reserve it for me, so that after death also, I can enjoy full comfort, of Swarga. Bhagwan says all these actions are moga karmano. They are futile actions because none of these are going to give you permanent happiness. Even after Swarga, suppose also you go to Swarga, after your brownie points are over, of all the tapasya you did and all the vrat that you did and all the punya dan that you did, after all those brownie points are over, fatak, you have to come back to earth and start once again. So, moga asha, moga karmano. Now see, moga jnana. Oh, Bhagwan says there are bewildered persons with fruitless knowledge. Oh, why is knowledge fruitless? Knowledge is always useful. So why is Bhagwan calling knowledge also fruitless? So once again, you have identified with the material world, with the material body. So now we are relying on this material world to make us happy, right? So if we want the material world to make us happy, we must know more about the material world. We must know where the money is, what is lucrative, which job is lucrative, which education is lucrative, which location is lucrative, so we can have more and more comforts, more and more richness. So we waste our entire human birth, which is so rare, you have no idea. We will now waste it in acquiring degrees, acquiring doctorates, acquiring medals and championships, acquiring fame, in getting more and more knowledge. And the irony is that with all this knowledge, we are still stuck in ignorance of the knowledge of our own self. We have gone deep into the earth. We are digging deep into the earth. We are going to the bottom of the ocean. We are even going into space, finding about Mars and Moon and other planets. Knowledge, lot of knowledge we are getting, but no knowledge of who am I? How foolish. That is why Bhagwan calls us Mudha, foolish. And one more thing. Now there'll be spiritual people, sadhaks. They know that jnana is needed for liberation. So they are deluded to think that that jnana which is needed for liberation is available in books. They think that by reading more books, by studying more texts, by learning Sanskrit grammar, by learning how to translate texts, more and more having debates, arguing, translating, all this is going to give them knowledge of who they are. But this is called fruitless knowledge. Why fruitless? Because until and unless they put away the books and take that knowledge to go within themselves in silence, leaving behind their intellectually inflated egos, without going into intellectual gymnastics, silencing the mind, stilling the mind, just closing their eyes and going within and recognizing their true self. This knowledge is fruitless. What is the fruit that knowledge has to give you? Aparoksh anubhuti. But aparoksh anubhuti cannot happen when the mind is so engaged in reading, debating, translating, doing grammar, reading more and more text. It is only creating greed of knowledge. Therefore, they are bewildered persons looking for happiness in fruitless knowledge. And Bhagwan calls all this, one word is there in the shloka, vichetasaha, senseless. no sense. All this, what Bhagavan has just described, Mogha Sha, Mogha Karmano, Mogha Jnana, all this has no sense. It is nonsense. No sense means no purpose. Not achieving the purpose for which it is meant. That is the meaning of Vichetasaha. Why senseless? Because all these hopes of finding happiness in sansar, all these actions that we are doing to find that happiness, all this knowledge that we are trying to digest and ingest in the hope of finding true happiness, is not meeting the purpose. What is the purpose? Self-realization. And all these activities are futile, useless, hopeless, fruitless, and waste of precious life. To understand this, let us take the example of trying to find happiness where it doesn't exist. Suppose I've lost my keys. I will lose it in my house, but I will go to find it on the road. Isn't that a waste of time? Isn't that foolish? Isn't that futile? Isn't that fruitless? If I senselessly keep on doing an action that can never give me the result that I want, then would that be a wise thing to do? The Shastras give this example. You can keep on churning water as much as you want, as long as you want. Keep churning water, you will never get butter out of it. And no matter how much we keep trying to get happiness from the material world, from matter, it is never going to come. This buddhi, which we have got, has got one faculty called viveka, the ability to discern truth and false, the ability to decide who we are, Atma or Prakriti, matter. We have to use that buddhi for the purpose for which it has been given to us. But instead of that, we are using this buddhi to create more bondage. That is why all these actions are called vichetasaha. No sense, no purpose. Humans are the only ones who have got this vivek. But unfortunately, this vivek has been covered up by lifetimes of mal, impurities. And we are now in a state of ignorance, unable to see our true self. What is the outcome of this blocked intellect? Our thoughts, our words, our actions have also become impure because they are motivated, they are projected from a impure intellect. So Bhagwan calls that Mohini, delusive. We are delusive, we are bewildered. We are not following what the Shastras are telling us. We are not listening to the Shastras. So our entire belief system has become totally lopsided. Now what we are believing in? We are believing that we live in an illusory world and we have got an illusory identity with us and we are worshipping and running after illusory objects. That is what makes us mohinim. We are deluded, moha, delusion. And because of this deluded intellect, because we are worshipping almost all these material objects, what has happened? Our nature has become what Bhagwan calls fiendish and demoniacal. Means our prakriti, our nature has become like Rakshasi and Asuri Prakriti. Our nature has become like the nature of a Rakshas and Asura. So what is an Asuri Prakriti? Asuri, who are Asurs? Asurs are those who are enemies of Surs. Surs were Devtas. So the Asurs were those who were the enemies of Devtas. So an Asuri Prakriti would be opposite of a Daivik Prakriti. So what is the characteristic of an Asuri Prakriti? Asuri people with Asuri tendencies, they will be full of Rajas, Rajasic. So since they rely totally on the material body, the material world, so they indulge in all kinds of desires to satisfy the body. And they are dominated by Rajas. Rajas means passion. So they will want to enjoy all the Vishais, even if they are prohibited by the Vedas. And their Rajas is so strong that they will resort to any means to procure the object of their desire. That is Asuric Prakriti, Asuric Pravritti, Asuric tendency. And because of that, because they will resort to anything, they create fear amongst the people around them. So by this wrong notion, by this impure intellect, we are in ignorance. Because of that, our thoughts, our words, and actions have also become impure. What is the meaning of impure? They will be asuric thoughts, asuric tendencies, asuric words, asuric actions. What does that mean? Dominated by rajas. Then what is rakshasi pravritti? Rakshasi pravritti is a kind of a tendency where it is dominated by tamas. Here, this kind of a person who is got a rakshasi pravritti, he will make life very difficult for everyone else. Rakshasi pravritti is dominated by anger and hatred. And their thoughts, their words, their actions will all be violent in nature. So they are basically adharmi, they are basically papi. Okay. So you can see where this normal ignorance of not knowing Atma and believing more and more with conviction that I am the body and I need to fulfill all the desires of the body, I need to make the body comfortable. When it is taken to its extreme, it becomes asuric and rakshasic tendencies. What is the outcome if someone has gone to this extreme of creating havoc, creating ill will, creating pap and adharma for them? What is the outcome of this? Go to Shlok 21 of Adhyay 16 and you will know what is waiting for them. There are three gates which lead to hell. What are these three gates which lead to hell? Kam, Krodh, and Lobh. So the final outcome of living with this kind of Prakriti will lead us to hell. Hell in this life also and hell in the afterlife also. So what is the purpose of these two shloks? Bhagwan didn't want to sound very negative. In fact, Bhagwan is helping us. He's trying to draw our attention to where we will reach if we do not nip it in the bud. And nip what? Our ignorance, our neglect, our ignoring the Shastra's advice. If we ignore it, if we neglect it, if we just keep giving in to our Prakriti, where will we go? We will become Asurs and Rakshas. And what is waiting for us is the three gates of hell. So take this in the right spirit. Don't take it as a negative approach. Take it in the positive way. What you can do is check. Check what are your hopes. Where have you pinned your hopes? and what are the actions you are taking to fulfill those hopes? And what kind of knowledge are you pursuing? Are you actually implementing that knowledge, or are you just inflating your ego with this knowledge? This is the way to take this shlok. This is what you can take home from this shlok. Where are your hopes, your actions, and your knowledge leading you to? Are they leading you to hell? Are they leading you to Swarg? Or are they leading you to moksha? That's it. That's all we have to know. And that's all we have to introspect on. More about this positive side next Thursday. Om. 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 Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Jidar. Jai Gurudev. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you Sampada for your chanting. Thank you Zoom team. God bless you all.
Pranam.
Pranam, Ma. Thank you.
Pranam, Ma.
Once
Thank you,
again.
Sampada.
Thank you,
Pranam, Ma.
Sampada.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Sampada.
God bless.
Pranam.
Thank you, Sampada.
Can I please bless my shishus for 2 minutes? God bless Vedika. God bless Kharia. God bless Alena. God bless Alena's friend. God bless all of you. God bless. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Pranam, Ma.
God bless. God
Thank you, Tai.